Hello, my friends. Welcome back to MTDCNC. We're happy to have you here today because of a very important reason, especially from my point of view, and that's I hear the buzzword all the time, turnkey. We have turnkey. We can do turnkey. Well, what does turnkey mean, and really what does it actually involve? We think it means that by the time the machines show up, we're going to have a good part running, but there's a whole lot that goes into that. And I get to sit with Keith and Andrew today, and in fact, you do too, to learn how Morris and Morris Midwest specifically goes into the details of turnkey. So Keith, let's start with you. And how does this whole process start? I see paperwork in front of you. I see a screen behind you. I got Darth Vader beside me. I did that on purpose, by the way, audience. Thank you so much. But Keith, let's talk about turnkey.
So essentially it starts with interviewing the customer. Capital sales guy will find an opportunity through a lead, whatever it may be. And then usually I will go in, we sit down and discuss what the customer's needs are, maybe take a look at parts, their facility, and then I will take my notes, take them back to the office and figure out a machine, potential process. We have an internal system to log it, and then between Andrew and myself, we start to develop what we're going to do process-wise and based on customers' specifications and everything else.
So the customer specifies what they're trying to create, but ultimately they're leaning on you to figure out how to do it, which is where this real partnership comes into play. And there's a lot of details in that between you and Andrew to figure out, between all of your incredible partners that you have, which combination of what is going to make this process ultimately the best success and most profitable for your customer. That's kind of a summary, but again, kind of how we started. There's a lot of details that goes into all of that, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, between the collective manufacturing experience of the group, and we work with our vendors heavily, right? So usually we have a pretty good idea of where we want to start, right? With tooling, work holding, things of that nature. So we turn around and we'll start pulling a plan together, start talking to vendors. Usually starts with a time study, right? Usually the tooling is actually dictated by a time study, right? So if I'm looking for a high surface foot, whatever the case may be to get the best cycle time, most reliable part, is really where the turnkey really starts to take place. Then we work with our vendors, whether it be custom tooling or standard tooling. Same with work holding. A lot of it's custom work holding. So we'll work with a work holding vendor, do concepts, and there's a whole process involved with. We'll review it, make sure it fits our process properly, and then it goes into pricing and putting the whole package together for execution.
Well, I have a question from the outside looking in and wanting to learn about all the steps of every piece of this fascinating process, because there's definitely some old heads in our industry that know that they can do it on their own already, and they're going to put pieces together. But to be fair, one person, a mentor I have for a long time is Steve Jobs. He always said, surround yourself with people that know more than you. So there's always a piece of technology where people can help us. But it comes with trust, and it comes with these relationships, and it comes with understanding how it all works. And I know this is a long segue into my question, but I think it's important because do you guys often get prints and they say, hey, I just won this bid for 10,000 parts, and I need the cycle time to be under a minute and a half? Or does someone come to you first and say, hey, I'm trying to win something, but I need a machine that's multifaceted because in 6 months from now I'm going to need to work on a new project, or everything in between? And whether it's you or Andrew that answers the question, I'm just really curious for a potential customer who's watching right now going, I could probably do it on my own, but tell me the benefits of why I should create this partnership. Where am I going to win from this?
Okay. So actually, we see it both ways. So we see it where a customer will have, we need this price point, we're doing this X amount of quantity, etc. They have a very defined budget and limitations. They might even tell you what vendors they want you to work with, everything. And then we have customers that are like, give me the best you can get. Whoever's the best wins, whether it be between price, process, cycle time, everything. So, our goal is, with our collective mindset of, all of our engineers, is come up with the best solution for the customer from beginning to end. So,
I got a funny feeling that's how your wife selected you as well, but we won't go
No,
into
I don't know
that too
about that.
much.
I don't know
Let's
about
slide
that.
over to Andrew and talk a
Sure.
little bit about his perspective. I'm sure your wife was like, whoever's the best,
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
But we'll stick with technology today. We just got to bring a little bit of humor. It's always fun to do that because we love to get educated and have some fun in between. All right, Andrew. We've talked with Keith a little bit. There are some unique benefits that Morse brings to the table. There are obviously some definitions and some behind-the-scenes work when we hear the buzzword turnkey and what actually goes into that when you're working with people. What are some of the things that you go through from your side of things in
Yeah.
your position?
Yeah, sure. So, Keith had kind of summarized some of this earlier, but him and I are working closely together to be able to take that concept and make it a reality for the customer. Ultimately, that handoff will occur when the turnkey process is generally getting closer to execution. And so when we collaborate internally, I'll take that information that Keith has already developed and we'll have a discussion about it. Make sure I am fully aware of what exactly is going on, what the machine is, what the parts are, quantities, et cetera, cycle time, whatever the customer's requirements are, to make sure that I assign the correct engineer for the project.
When you're working with the customers, what involvement percentage would you say that they have? Does it vary from 0% where they want you to do it all to 80% where they want to be so much involved that they try to control the project? When it comes to turnkey, where does it sit with customer involvement?
So that it does vary by customer. Some customers like to be more involved because they have some tribal knowledge with tooling or work holding or programs or whatever. So from that side of things, we're flexible with working with the customer, but we do have some customers that come directly to us and want us to develop the whole process from scratch, start to finish. They have very limited involvement with the tooling, work holding, machine selection. They just want it to work and work properly, and we have the expertise to be able to handle that.
At the end of the day, I think that's what we all want, right? Is to be able to work properly and for years to come.
Right.
A turnkey project, when I think of a turnkey, sometimes I think of something that's going to run for the next 5 or 10 years because I've got such a large job, or I know that the future is going to repeat this process. But do turnkeys also mean a 6-month job to a year job, or a 2-year job, or a 3-year job where it can be able to switch over to something else in the near future if we need to for a new project?
Absolutely. We offer new machine turnkey projects, but we also offer, applications engineering paid support. So as part of that, we'll come in. One of our engineers can come in and be able to set up, program, and debug and do a turnkey on the customer's floor on a machine that we might have turnkeyed 5 years ago. So we offer that support down the line for the customer for the life of that machine and the life of that product. It doesn't matter how old it is.
Did you guys know that? I did not know that. Did you guys know that? Hold on. If I have a machine shop and I have a machine of yours, and 5 years from now I have a project come up and I'm struggling to create a profitable way to do it, you will come into my machine shop and help me fix that situation?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have the expertise to do that on new equipment, on old equipment, and everything in between.
Andrew, that to me is phenomenal. Now, I always like to end these conversations with, giving you guys the opportunity of, did I not ask you a question of a message that you think you'd like to convey to the audience, something we missed? Because I know with Morris Madness coming up, you guys are going to have hundreds, if not thousands of people here to visit you, check out the technology, learn more about this turnkey process, the automation, your vendors and your partnerships and everything that goes along with it. And because it's coming soon, we're trying to get everyone, not that we need to try very hard because it is exciting, but we're getting everyone excited about coming. So with that being said, for either one of you, if there's something we've left out in this conversation you'd like to convey to the audience to invite them to Morris Madness, by all means, here's your 15 seconds of fame to do so.
So I would say that, I encourage everybody out there that's interested in CNC tools, CNC machining, some of the technology that we have here with the automation integration. We have mill turn machines, vertical, horizontal machining centers, turning centers, Swiss machines, a wide array of products, and we'd love to be able to show you guys our engineering staff and the capabilities that we have to be able to support you.
Andrew, very, very well said. Keith, do you have something you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, so Andrew summed it up very well, but I would say come out for a free lunch and hang out and check out the technology.
Free lunch, technology, these amazing people. I'm going to be here as well. We got to have fun that day. Come take some pictures, photos, learn about technology. Pictures and photos are the same thing, so we'll do videos as well. But to come learn about some technology, some turnkey stuff, and come see all the amazing vendors that are here as well. It's important to highlight all of the partnerships that Morris Group has. With that being said, thank you both for explaining more about Turnkey to me. I'm extremely fascinated by that. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you've learned as much as I have today about Turnkey. See you all soon.